going live. It's Friday night, so it's time to go live. Sorry, we're a couple minutes late, but we had a pre-show meeting that went a little longer than expected. We have planning meetings before our shows, if you didn't realize. Also, as many of you have figured out now, it's all fake and scripted. All of our shows completely fake and scripted. Right?
Yep.
Just ask these guys.
No way. That would take preparation. I'm just here flying by the seat of my large pants.
Yeah, there's absolutely no very little preparation, but sometimes a little bit of a plan, and that's fine. We got some things to talk about. All right. Welcome in Friday night to everybody. Join us in the chat. I'm going to switch it to live chat. Rick tipped me off to that one instead of top chat. Top chat weeds out the swears. So we don't want to miss those swears. If you got some swears, hey, that's up to you. Type of language you use, you choose the language you use.
Yeah.
I always told my kids I should have been a white rapper. Rick,
okay.
Before we get into any Packer talk, I got something exciting for you, my friend. Now, I have showcased Delta Beer Lab on the show before. I don't even know what beer this is. I can't even tell.
It's a Belgian Vit.
Oh, okay. Thanks for that. I thought it was blue gold. Like an ode to Eau Claire.
I think that's not the only thing witty in this episode.
Anyway, one awesome thing about Delta Beer Lab, the founder, Pio, who grew up in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, by the way, which you have ties to, Pointerland. I'm going to be interviewing him on my radio show next Saturday. Not tomorrow, but next Saturday, June 12th. Pio from Delta Beer Lab will be one of my guests on my radio show. You can find it at devilradio927.com. You can also find it on Facebook. Look for the Devil Radio page.
Excellent.
Pio, he's a cool guy. I mean, really doing a lot of good stuff with it. Right now they're doing, we're going to talk about it next week, but right now they're selling a new beer that they have, and it's all going to a nonprofit, all the proceeds that they got going on for the next couple months. So, and they do stuff like that all year round, which is pretty great. Delta Beer Lab, Madison, Wisconsin. Woohoo! Pio's a good dude. All right. How are we doing tonight, everybody? Ben? No. Okay. Rick? Try you.
Doing okay. It's Friday.
What are you drinking? You're drinking something.
I'm drinking a homebrewed blonde ale.
Ooh. When next you come to Madison, we will go to Delta Beer Lab and drink beer out of beakers, excuse me. And hey, certified guy, what's up? We're gonna talk Packers here in a second, but we will drink beer out of beakers, and you can see how much you like Delta Beer Lab stuff.
Excellent. I'll hold you to that.
Cool stuff.
I've heard good things about them, not just from you. So
yeah. Well,
I look forward to that.
That's good. Beer on me. The first one's on me too. So, All right. So I was really excited because, my man Lucas Patrick talked to the media on Wednesday. Seems like the media kind of likes him. I think he's becoming a fan favorite if he wasn't already. Certainly a favorite of Larry McCarron's, and certainly a favorite of me. Yes, as well. If you haven't figured that out. First jersey I've ever bought. The other one was bought for me, and that was 26 years ago or 27 years ago. All right. So I was pretty jazzed, and I wanted to celebrate with my man Lucas, and I found out some looking into I saw a story that the Packers did on him last November that was pretty cool. Just kind of gives you his character, the type of guy he is. And I found a very cool correlation, which was sticking in my brain when they said something about where he was from, what high school he went to. And I was like, God, that sounds familiar. And it did sound familiar for a reason. So all these things just kind of intensifying my love for Lucas Patrick, why he's so awesome. Now, did either of you guys read that article with him Justin McCray talking about him and how Patrick just kind of right away befriended him? And even though he's like a competing guy for his spot, he's like, hey, you're new to the area. Let me know if you need something. I'm here, man. Let's hang out.
I did read it.
What'd you think?
I thought it was a pretty cool insight. I mean, it's obviously a business, and you think about it being so competitive, especially when you got guys that are gunning for the same position. But I thought it was pretty cool that he's going out, he's still having fun. I mean, this guy's potentially a teammate, right? There's no guarantee that that one of them was going to get cut. So, be a good guy, help out the new guy, be a good teammate. It sounded like he was pretty genuine in the whole process, but it seemed like a pretty classy move, taking the new guy under his wing, and ended up making a pretty good friend out of it from the way it sounded in the article. So, yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool article.
And both were at the time fringe guys, like trying to make the team, where it's probably coming down to one or the other of them likely making the team. And right away, he's like, hey, you're new here, but let's get you on board, familiar with everything. May the better man win, all that sort of good stuff. That's the kind of guy he is. Some really cool things about that in that article too, is they just talked about how he's just really consistent, hard worker, which we all know, by his play, he's a hard worker. And also the one very cool thing, this is not in the article, but this is what I looked up. So he was from Brentwood, Tennessee. Ben, tell me who else who played for the Packers was from Brentwood, Tennessee?
I don't know.
Scotty Wells.
I said it before you said it.
Scotty Wells. And was
I
Scotty
said it before you said it.
Was Scotty Wells awesome?
He's good.
Yeah, he was good. Brentwood, Tennessee, Scotty Wells, number 63. They cast him aside. Brentwood, Tennessee, Lucas Patrick. Awesome dudes come from Brentwood, Tennessee. That's what I learned. What you got, Ben?
I screwed up.
Oh, okay.
I didn't share sound.
Oh, I know. That's the one. Sometimes I forget to click that little box as well.
You were just talking about, we're going to splice in some Lukey Patrick sound bites here today because it's Lukey Patrick Friday.
Lukey Patrick!
So here's Lukey Patrick kind of talking about what Justin McCray did for him and kind of what he's doing with some of the young guys if they should ever ask him.
Hey, Lucas.
You got the sound?
Back to all the draft picks that have come in the last couple of years, I'm just curious do those guys know your story and, how where you started as undrafted and a tryout guy and all of that, or do they not look at you that way or communicate with you, with regard to your path?
I'm more than welcome to share my story if they want to ask. But I try to approach each day like it's not guaranteed and just come in here and work and build on what I've done. But more than willing to share my career path and, let them know that nothing's guaranteed year by year, day by day, and rep by rep.
There you go. Nothing is guaranteed year by year, day by day, rep by rep. Lucas Patrick knows that.
Mm-hmm.
You know who else knows that? Scotty Wells knew that. You know who else knows that? Jordy Nelson knew that. You know who else knew it? Greg Jennings. You know who else? Mike Daniels.
Mm.
You know who else? TJ Lang. You know who else? Randall Cobb. You know who else? Clay Matthews. You know who else? My guy Ryan Pickett.
Clay Matthews? Really?
You know who else? Clay Matthews didn't even they let him go.
Well, yeah, but
back.
I don't know that he ever took that stance when he was.
Well, it happened to him.
Well, yeah, but
and he wasn't surprised because he knows how it is. You know who doesn't know that? Aaron frickin' Rodgers. And from now on, I will no longer call him by that name. He will forever be Diva Baby. That is what his new name is going to be.
Stop.
If I mention Diva Baby, that's who I am talking about. The quarterback who shall no longer be named by his actual name, given to him by his parents. Who doesn't want to talk to.
That's
so
your
one.
That's your one.
Baby.
That's your one for tonight. I'm not going to let you make this show about Aaron Rodgers when it's supposed to be about Lucas Patrick.
Lucas Patrick knows what's up.
Well, yeah, he knows what's up. He's awesome. Plus, did you know he had a broken ankle? He had a significant injury in college, which held him back in draft. Plus, he went to Duke. It's not a football school. So he had a hard path to the NFL. He was overlooked, but he's awesome. He worked his way in. And the one thing I will point out as well, he finally got to be a starter last year, but he wasn't a starter, right? Originally, was he? Was he fuzzy? Was he? No. He wasn't a starter until after Lane Taylor got hurt, right? Or am I wrong?
No.
Because he was a guard. So Jenkins.
Billy Turner didn't play.
Oh, Billy
Jenkins was at right tackle.
Okay. So but because of injury, he finally got to start. So it wasn't even like, hey, you're a starting guard, unless we had all these injuries, then you get to be a starting guard. But every time, even back in 2017, when he came in and did spot duty at guard or spot duty at center or whatever, every time he got a chance to play, he did well. Did he make some mistakes? Yes. Did he miss some blocks? Sure. Everybody does. But every time he got a chance to play, he performed well. And then finally in 2020, after a few years on the team in that role, kind of fill in, plug in guy role, center guard, whatever, he got a chance to start and get a home at primarily right guard. And yes, were there mistakes made? Sure. Were there things that didn't always go perfectly? Yeah. Did he get his butt kicked in the Carolina game by a first round top-notch pick? Yeah, he did. But you know what he also did? Dominated Akeem Hicks in the freaking second matchup against the Bears. Dominated Hicks. Who Aaron Nagler said in a recent video, just to say about Aaron Nagler and a little bit of hypocrisy here. There are a couple guys, different people out there that downplay Patrick. And that's what pisses me off. Because they undervalue him. They devalue him. They downplay him the way they talk about him. He's like an afterthought. They'll name Billy Turner. They'll name Jenkins and Bakhtiari and even Josh Myers, new center, and all these other guys. And then, then there's Lucas Patrick. Oh, he might be fighting for a roster spot this year. There might be other stuff going on. Anyway, Nagler also says, when Nagler was asked in a recent chat, who could be a surprise cut this year? And he thought, let me think about it. Lucas Patrick. Yeah, be a little surprising, but I could see it. And in that same chat, he was asked, who's your favorite? Who's one of your favorite NFL players and not a Packer? And he said, Akeem Hicks. He thinks Akeem Hicks is just a stud, a monster, a beast. And a guy you just said could easily be cut and you cast away, and you would, because you devalue him and undervalue him, Nagler. Kicked Hicks's butt in that game. Go back and watch the tape. All right. I'm going to try not to be mad anymore.
Rick, what say you about all this?
Am I losing my mind? Tell me, Rick.
Sorry.
Obviously, I love Lucas Patrick, but let me explain this first. I did not love him before he started playing. He gained my fandom with his performance in play. That's why I'm a big fan, because what I saw from him, and mostly because effort and attitude and finish and sustaining his blocks. That, to me, I don't care if he's not the most talented lineman. I don't care if he's not the sexiest lineman. I don't care if he doesn't have the best hair, the best beard, or any of it. I don't care. You know how I love beards. His play made me his biggest fan, outside of his immediate family, probably. But I'm right there. So am I crazy? Do I see things that no one else sees? Am I overvaluing this guy as a player? Like, is he not not just a solid depth piece like some people will call him? Is he a good player? Is he a starting caliber guard that's a good player for the Packers? Or am I losing my mind? Rick?
Well, first thing, that mustache he has, that's kind of sexy. But more seriously, I don't think he's all pro guard, at least at this point in his career. But looking at the Packers offensive line situation last season, looking at their offensive line situation this season, it was pretty porous last year, and now they've lost pieces from that coming into this year. So, another podcast we were discussing earlier today was basically, saying that Patrick's going to be fighting for a spot, that this journeyman guard, Braden, that they brought in is reportedly looking good according to comments that the coaching staff has made. And he might be competing for a starting position. I think all 5 line spots are open competition at this point, right? I mean, Bakhtiari, when he comes back, presumably will have the left tackle locked down. But what else is guaranteed at this point, right? I mean, everyone's assuming that the rookie is going to step in and be able to play center in week 1. What if he's not ready to go? Okay, then maybe Patrick's competing for the center job. Who else are they going to put at center? Jenkins, I would like to see him at left guard, but are they going to put him at tackle at least until Bakhtiari comes back? Right. I mean, I think pretty much all these positions are up for grabs right now. I don't think anything's guaranteed. So I think, I think everyone there is competing for a job potentially. But you look at what they have, right? I mean, I think without a doubt, Patrick should be in the top 5 offensive linemen they have. He should be a starter. And if, these guys that they have on the bench that are going to be competing for his spot on the roster, where were they last year, right? I mean, Josh Nijman, where was he? Is he really that good that you're going to cut a guy who started, 14 games for you last year? Or for someone who didn't play? I mean, did Josh Nijman see the field at all last season? Oh, got some echo. Runyon. I think Runyon's a guy who should get some playing time, but I think even he's kind of a question mark at this point, right? You're looking at a guy who's actually played for you, who's been on the team since he signed with the team. It's not one of these guys who made the practice squad and then left and went to another practice squad for a year or two and came back and bounced around. He's a guy who's had playing time and has played pretty well overall. I mean, there were plays that he got beat, but everybody gets beat on some play, right? I mean, you're not going to have an offensive line of 5 guys that never get beat on a single play. It's just not going to happen. So, do I think you're way off the mark? No. Am I ready to get, LP tattooed in a heart on my butt? No.
Ooh,
but
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, well, clever design. But I think with the set of offensive linemen that they have right now, I just don't think it's reasonable to think that he would be somebody who's on the bubble to not make the team with all these young, unproven guys that they have. I mean, I know we talked after the draft that it'd be awesome if Cole Van Lanen makes the team. At this point, even if he makes a practice squad and sticks around, I think it'd be awesome. But is that a guy who's going to step in? You're going to bump a veteran to sign him and count on him at some point during the season if somebody goes down? So, it's great to have these versatile guys that can play anywhere as your backups, but you need 5 bona fide starters that you can go line up week 1, have guys who are going to play well at the position they're playing. You don't need 10 guys that can all play every position. You don't need guys that can, maybe play tackle if they slide over. Right? I mean, they've already got guys like that. They need real stud tackles. So, I don't think they have it on the team right now that is going to fill that role. So who are the best 5 you can put out there? And in my opinion, Patrick's one of those 5.
That's
Back
what
to you.
LaFleur talked about a bunch, right? With the offensive line is getting their 5 best guys on the field. That's what they were trying to do. That's what they're, when they're shifting things around, stuff like that. Ben, when you look at the offensive linemen on the Packers team, and you can include David Bakhtiari in this, who's the best run blocking offensive lineman on the Packers team?
I don't know. Let's take a look.
Okay.
This is the first drive of the NFC Championship game. I don't want to bring anybody down, but let's just watch and see what happens here. This is the very first play. All I know is I see Lukey Patrick on the ground, but he's also got another guy on the ground with him. Watch Lukey Patrick right here. This is Ndamukong Suh, all-pro defensive tackle. He takes him. He hangs on to him the best he can. Holds him, slams him to the ground.
Look at the other guys. Stays engaged. Look at who's Billy Turner blocking. Like, this is the thing, right? This is what I talk about. Look at Billy Turner. Oh, I'm running after this guy. Well, that's great and all, but staying engaged is the biggest part of blocking on the offensive line. It's just not the guy you're supposed to be blocking, not disengaging with him, not letting him shake you. And Patrick does that better than anybody on this team. except for Bakhtiari in pass blocking, because Bakhtiari is the best holder in the history of the NFL in pass blocking, which Mo has all said all the time. And he is great. But in run blocking, he's not as great.
Okay, now this time I want you to watch the All-Pro free agent Corey Linsley.
Got paid some big bucks.
This is the first play of the game. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I want you to watch what he does on this play. And you tell me, is that an All-Pro move? We're going to watch it. Here he goes. Okay. He's up to the next level. He's backing. He's trying to help out right here, help Jenkins with his butt, which is fine. What is he looking at? Right here. Who's this guy? Levante David, right? A very fast, good inside linebacker. If he does not get him, the ball carrier is going this way. There's two guys. So you can't expect Jamal Williams to beat both of these two guys. You've got to block one of them, right? And this looks like he's, 4 yards away, looking right at him. That's where his block should be, right? Let's watch Corey Linsley, All-Pro center. Olay.
Oh.
Olay. When I watched this, I couldn't believe it. I honestly couldn't believe what I just saw.
They rave about Linsley all the time. He was stellar.
Not only did he
Some people describe him as stellar.
Not only did he not get in the way, he olayed him and didn't block anybody. And guess who makes the tackle on it? Watch it again. Watch him olay this. What is that? It's almost like he's afraid to touch him. And who gets the tackle? 54 and 33. It blew my mind. I showed you a play earlier in the season. It was a Tampa Bay game where David Bakhtiari did the same thing. Where he could have got a guy on the second level. What?
Did you see that shot by that guy who was giving Lucas a shot for finishing his block?
Yeah. I saw it.
He finishes his block. Love that guy.
Okay, now on this play, we're going to watch Lukey Patrick's pass protection. This is 2nd and 7. He's right here, and he's going up against Ndamukong Suh again. Let's watch his pass protection. He's all alone. He gets no help. He gets beat immediately, but look at his feet. He keeps his feet underneath him, gets inside pad position, leans forward, makes sure that Suh can't get past him. Rodgers has a throwing lane, throws it to a guy who falls down. Of course, Mercedes is going to fall down. It's thrown behind him, but what are you going to do? That was pretty good.
Solid block.
That was pretty good. Well, here comes the problem on this one. Now.
But he still stays after the guy.
No. It's not his fault. This is a bad play call.
No, but I'm saying he still stayed after the guy he went after. I mean, that's the thing, too. Like, a lot of times guys miss their block and they stand around. He's at least goes to block somebody.
This play is terrible. I want you to watch 45. He doesn't even move. So you've got Daphne is coming across to get this guy. And I don't know if Lukey's supposed to get this guy or what, but they just totally ignore White. And I don't know why. And I think that might be Lukey's fault. But he has Suh in front of him. So, I mean, he's worried about Suh, right?
If he didn't pick up,
if he didn't get Suh, then he wouldn't have got.
Then Suh's going to go in untouched. So
right. The other thing is, Aaron Jones kind of did a dumb move.
Pause it.
Yeah, he shoved them all the way across the field.
Yeah, all these other guys are standing around, looking back at the ball carrier, got their butt kicked, and he's still blocking.
Yep.
Look at him. They all stopped.
Head back.
And he's like, "Hey, I didn't hear a whistle yet."
And Lukey's still blocking. That's right.
God dang it.
That's why he's the man. He might not be the best, but he always goes till the end. Even when he misses a block, he still tries to do something. Where these other guys just don't. And it's not like.
And hold on. Pause 1 second, though. One thing that you hear, Ben, is not media people, other people in the league that talk about this stuff. Rave. Packers, one of the best offensive lines. They keep saying it all the time. One of the best offensive lines. Corey Linsley, all pro. They keep mentioning Jenkins. Everybody's so high on Jenkins. And Jenkins is a good player. Don't get me wrong. But in my estimation, Jenkins and Patrick, Jenkins might be more talented and a little more versatile because he can play tackle. But when they're playing guard, they're pretty equal to me. One, because the one guy works his butt off and the other guy's a little more talented, but they're about the same. But everybody's like all pro Jenkins. And then, of course, Bakhtiari. And he just, like, people just undervalue him. But you see a bunch of these plays. Who's the guy that's doing the best job? Him. And you didn't hand select these plays either to make him look good. You said that, right?
No, because he looks really bad on this one.
Yeah, he got beat on that one.
He got his butt kicked.
But he's still trying to engage with the guy, even
Right.
though
He doesn't give up. You'll watch other guys just give up after they get beat. But this is one where Sue got probably pissed because he got his butt kicked for 3 plays in a row, and he was like, "All right, I'm going after him this time." And here he's lined up on his inside shoulder, and Lindsey gives him no help. What is Lindsey doing? He goes to help over here for some reason. Why? When he's got inside position on him, and Lukey Patrick's looking over here thinking that maybe he's getting a blitz, and Lindsey totally leaves him out to dry. Based on where they were lined up, that should not have happened. That's a reach block that they forced him to do. Look at this. Lukey Patrick is supposed to get Ndamukong Suh, a Pro Bowl defensive tackle, all by himself. And then there's nobody here. Why would Lindsey go this way?
I don't know.
It makes no sense.
That's a good question for the All-Stars.
After you see the play, everybody's like, wow, Lukey Patrick got his butt kicked. Well, why is he going over here? There's 3 guys. To block one guy? And then they get a stunt, and look at this. He's wide open around the stunt because they're all working with 3 guys blocking one guy. And then, of course, Aaron Jones gets his head ripped off, but yeah, it's nothing new.
Right. No flags on that.
But that's not his fault.
If that were Billy Turner, he would have just let his guy go and be like, "Oh, yeah. I guess I missed them on this play."
Funny how you should say that, because guess what happens here? Billy Turner lets this guy go.
3rd and 9.
Ready for this? Watch Billy Turner over here. Watch this right here. Oh wait, maybe not. What is this? Oh no, yeah, this is different.
They held up pretty good that time.
Well, here's the problem: is
except for Wagner.
Rodgers should have went up. This is a different play. There's a play later on and a different drive. This is the end of this drive. When you watch it back in the front, you'll see. First of all, it was a dumb play call. There's nobody open, but
this might be Billy Turner's best play of the season right here. Let's see.
He gets help. He gets help from Tunyon on this play.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, JPP just kind of delays and dances around too. He's not
right.
Doesn't look like he's coming super hard.
Look at Lucas. I love it.
Yeah, they're just sandwiching him. They're sandwiching Ndamukong Suh. And Rodgers tries to get away, and Wagner couldn't quite hold his guy long enough. And his guy's quick. That was not his fault. But this is just the first drive. So you saw Lucas Patrick doing great on the run block. You saw him do really good on the second play on pass block. You saw him get beat, but it was a guy who had inside position with no help from Corey Linsley who should have helped him. I'm sorry, at least hit him and then move over. There is nobody in front of Corey Linsley on this side, but there is Ndamukong Suh right here. Why did he go immediately to Jenkins' side? It didn't make any sense.
Right, but, and the defensive guy was playing outside Jenkins' outside shoulder. So what was Linsley going to do over there anyway? That guy was already outside. There was nothing to do there. So that was another error by Linsley. We're not trying to make us a show about Linsley not being worth the free agent contract he got, but right there he didn't look too good on that drive.
Oh well, I just showing plays. I'm showing the first drive of the NFC Championship game. That's all that was. And you get to see, the Packers up against a top defense, especially a top defensive line, and how their offensive line handled it when they were down their number 1 tackle. And you see, Lukey Patrick did pretty dang good most of the time. And he goes to the whistle. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. Now, later on, he gets schooled pretty bad, and there's another play. I mean, I've got more if you want to watch him, but that's besides, I don't know if you want to do that at all. But I mean, this episode, I think, is all about Lukey Patrick. Now, you brought up something in the chat. You're saying you're mad at Goody for the Lukey Patrick stuff. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Okay.
I think you're totally dead wrong on that, but I figured I'd give you the floor here.
Well, okay. I'm trying to figure this out. And this is an interesting thing that I wanted to bring up, right? And I wanted to ask you guys this question. And if you're in the chat hanging out, kind of hanging quietly, just watching right now, Bernard, how you doing? I'm curious of what you think. Now, the Packers, okay, in the last 2 drafts, the Packers have selected six offensive linemen out of their picks, 3 in 2020 and 3 more this year, right? Now, I understand you needed a center. That makes sense. But most of these guys, 4 out of these 6 guys are really interior guys that the Packers, even though they played tackles in college, they weren't like considered to be tackles translated to the NFL. So they're probably guards, basically. And I'm just looking at this and I'm like, okay, you love Elton Jenkins and he's a good player. Bakhtiari is the man, right? You just paid him like the man. You just drafted your center. Fine. Lucas Patrick performed as well as any of your offensive linemen last year. To me, he was the most consistent offensive lineman across the board. And then you keep throwing Billy Turner out there for reasons we can't understand. Nobody can understand. We watch the film, we watch the video, we see the games. Billy Turner keeps missing blocks, yet you keep putting him on the field. We don't get it. But still, the Packers chose to spend that many draft picks on offensive line. And I know you need depth there for people who are going to be like, well, you need depth and there's injuries. And yeah, that's all true. Yes. But aren't there other positions that the Packers need more competition at? Like if this is just to bring in more competition in those spots, aren't there other positions on the team that it would have been more important to bring in competition to raise the level of play potentially at those spots for the Packers team to make the team better than bringing in 6 offensive linemen? What positions do you guys think would be better to bring in more competition than offensive line? Or I'll phrase it this way. What position do the Packers need more help? And just in some cases, more talent and more players, more starting caliber players to make their team better. Rick, what do you think?
I would say that's certainly inside linebacker. But I would say that even though they've been drafting a lot of offensive line help, they're not drafting the right guys. Right? I mean, we've talked about it. We just talked about how they've got, a lot of these, jack of all trades sort of guys that can play multiple positions. It's taking more of these guys in the 5th, 6th, 7th round. Okay, you might find a diamond in the rough, but if you never play them or they're never active, what are you doing with it? Like, why are you taking more of these guys? So I think they still, they're not addressing their offensive line holes with the guys they're taking, and they're doing it at the expense of not bringing in competition at middle linebacker, not bringing in real top-notch talent on interior defensive line, not bringing in a lot of corner help or receiver help, which, I think they've done a pretty decent job of making do with the receivers they have. So I'm not intending that to be a slight on the guys that they've been playing, but certainly over the last 5 years, they could have invested a little more in a top-tier receiver. That probably would have paid dividends by now. Certainly over some of these 5th, 6th, 7th round linemen that could be projects that they're going to develop and never see the field, which that's a whole nother thing that I don't quite understand is their player development. And, there was something else that was mentioned in something we were talking about earlier today is these guys are bringing in that, this is a young guy who's been around and, the type of player the Packers like to develop. The guy's been around for 5 or 6 years and has been on 4 or 5 different teams What are you going to develop? You've got a whole roster full of these guys. What is this guy going to bring that you don't have in the guys that you picked yourself? Oh, wait, his 9.6 RAS score or whatever he has. So
they're cheaper, first off, right? They're cheaper than the guy you had because Patrick got a second contract. So he costs more. They gave that to him. He earned it, though. But you just hit on quick side note, Rick, though. The Packers are fine with first round developmental players. Like they draft guys in the first round that need development. Like Eric Stokes, like the guy, like they've said, Eric Stokes, first round cornerback drafted this year, and he's a developmental guy. Like what? No, give me guys that are going to play and make an impact in the first round. You hit on most of the positions, right? D-line, inside linebacker, wide receiver, tackle. If you're going to draft offensive linemen, give me some bona fide guys that can compete at tackle, for crying out loud.
Maybe they can. Maybe, but the problem is they don't ever put them there. I mean, they draft these guys who play tackle, who are
in
tall,
college,
with
right?
Long arms, and have a quick feet, and then they want to move them to guard. Guard is where you need beef. That's your Quinn Miners guy. Give me a Quinn Miners. Give me a big tough monster. Give me a Quinn Nelson or whatever. Quentin Nelson. That's the kind of guy I want to guard. Not a skinny legged, long armed, scrawny guy who with quick feet. He's going to get his butt kicked by Dominican Sue and Vita Vea. They're going to just run right over him. Let's just keep it doesn't make any sense. And then you keep having Yash Nyman or whatever his name is. He's been on the team for 3 years. He never plays. He doesn't even start or doesn't even make dress. They keep putting other guys there instead of him. What's the point of even having the guy on the roster? And then you draft Van Lanen and what's his face with the mullet? What's his name? Royce Newman. And then in Runyon Bunyan last year, who was a tackle in college. And then you just say you're going to put him at guard. Okay, well, guess what? You already got, especially even last year, when you had Lane Taylor, Jenkins, Lukey Patrick. They thought Billy Turner was supposed to be a good guard, apparently. They had all these guys that were supposed to be guards. Why would you draft more guards and tackles to move them to guard? And then this year, when you don't have tackles, because Billy Turner's not a good tackle and he's not a good guard, you go and draft, you wait until round 4 or whatever, 5 to get a tackle, and then 6 to get a tackle, and then say you're going to move them to guard? It makes no sense. We need tackles. That's what you need. You don't need more guards. You already got good guards. It's like, hello. It just doesn't. It's like drafting a tight end in the 3rd round 2 years in a row.
And now those guys are not even on the radar because you got Tunyon, who's ascended, who was already there, and you love Sadies. So those are your top 2 tight ends, but your last 2 third-round tight end picks in recent years are like 3rd and 4th on the depth chart. What? I mean, I just don't get it. I don't understand that they want to create competition. They say that all the time. But why are you creating competition at positions where you're good, but not adding more competition at positions that are really questionable? I don't get the draft strategy. I just don't get it.
Well, here's what Lukey Patrick had to say about this subject.
Be complacent. You said yourself nothing's guaranteed. But when they draft 6 linemen like they have the last 2 years, does that make the fire burn a little bit hotter for you to make sure that you're not going anywhere and that you've been challenged by that? Or how does that factor into your motivation?
That's just a part of this business. I hope those guys play for a long time and make a lot of money and do whatever they can for their family. But my drives are pretty internal. They're based on a few people who are very close in my life. I just want to make them proud. And I think that's knowing who I am and being true to that has helped me get to this point. And having people like that to keep me true hopefully keeps me progressing. If you sit and worry about things you can't control, like who's coming in or who's going out or where am I going to play or what's going on, then I believe your play will start to diminish. So I just try to stay focused on what I can control and trust the people who I have close around me.
Last one, Chris Roth.
There you go.
Who gave his video what was the one person that gave it a thumbs down? That's dumb. That person should
I don't know.
be banned
Don't
from
worry about
YouTube.
it.
All right. Probably Bears fan.
Don't worry about that. You guys still hear me yet on this thing? Or
Yep.
did I shut it off?
Yep. It's probably the same Bears fan that thought our Jordan Love reaction was fake. That's my guess. Go on,
Probably.
Ben.
Probably.
He's
But-
awesome.
He's
Come
just
on.
a good guy. He's a good guy who, I mean, listen. We love the underdog. We've been loving the underdog. We're Hafeman bros. That's our whole thing. We love the underdog. That's what we go for. They drafted 6 guys. Mookie Patrick stares it in the face and says, hey, I'm going to worry about me. I'm going to do my best. And it's the same thing that a lot of guys have to do. Robert Tonyan had to do it for 3 years. He had no guarantees about making the team. None. He had to just work and work. He had Jimmy drop the ball Graham in front of him for 2 years when he should have been on the damn field. But because the Packers had $8-9 million invested in Jimmy, crappy, slow, fall on your face, drop the ball Graham, they couldn't put Robert Tonyan in the game. Hello, we would have won way more games. We would have probably beat 49ers in the NFC Championship game if Robert Tonyan was out there and not Jimmy crap Graham. But Robert Tonyan got hurt earlier in the season, I know. But still, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. Guys like that. And Alan Lazard, who had to get cut, make back on a team. And Chris Barnes, who got cut. And then they start him. That doesn't make any sense. But these are the kind of guys that we love. And why? Because they're awesome guys. And Ty Summers. We love Ty Summers. We love all these guys. That's the thing that really drives us. And it's also our Achilles heel, is that we fall in love with these guys that have no business to be falling in love with, because the Packers don't give a crap. And Mookie Patrick knows it, but there's one guy who don't know it. And you know who that is. I'm not going to mention his name.
That's fine. Hey, did you see Tony C? Thanks for coming in. I think this is a compliment. He said the dude on the top left, number 62's biggest fan outside of his family, reminds me of Paul Rudd. He thinks I'm Ant-Man. I'm Ant-Man. Yeah. I'll take it as a compliment.
Well, hey, Paul Rudd has got a lot of great movies. I would suggest
and a lot of money too.
My Idiot Brother. Very good movie. I don't know if you ever seen that one.
Is there some extra meaning in there for me?
Maybe.
Oh,
also, let's see. Role Models. Excellent movie. One of my favorites of all time.
I could have been Paul Rudd. I'm just not that funny. But
he's not really that funny either. He's usually the straight man to go along with somebody who's way more funnier. Like in Dinner for Schmucks, it's him and Steve Carell. Steve Carell's way funnier than he is. You know,
I could have
in Role Models, he plays a character that's close to my heart because he's annoyed by every single thing and every single person around him. So I totally get that guy. I'm like, oh yeah, I totally understand. So I totally get that. But anyways, so there you go.
Hey, I appreciate that. I never considered myself to remind myself of Paul Rudd, but I appreciate it because I like Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is he's pleasing to me in
Rick's on the move.
Many movies. He's got to get more beer, I think. Yeah, he's empty.
Oh, okay. Well, while he's doing that, I'm gonna play another video because what the heck.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it. We're talking about my favorite player.
We're just gonna watch it. We'll just, if you want to talk, just talk over the top of it. I don't want to pause it unless you really see something you need to see.
No, you're good.
All right, here's the Billy Turner play I was talking about.
Oh boy, yep. There he
where
goes.
He just gets completely schooled, and it's really bad. But Mookie Patrick holds his ground, and of course, Lindsley helps Jenkins on the double team.
No, that's a curious thing, isn't it? Why does
he keep going over to Jenkins to help him on a double team every single time?
Jenkins, who's so awesome, needs help.
This is where he should have gone on this.
I get it.
This makes sense. But watch this. This is just, oh my god.
Ooh, see, he got knocked off balance right away by Sue. And Sue's got him up under the throat. Cheapy bastard. God, I hate
You're supposed to be watching Billy Turner suck.
Oh, yeah.
Mookie Patrick. I told you.
I know Billy Turner.
Good. Billy Turner. We're going to watch Billy Turner suck. That's what we're watching.
A guy who's been called by some spectacular. Wow, that is not. That's not. Not spectacular.
Terrible positioning. And then what's Jenkins?
Jenkins, what are you doing? Oh, I just look at that guy. There he goes. What kind of help is that? What kind of help is that? Like if Lindsley's got Veda, go and get your butt over there and try to knock that guy off. What? Remember the video one of the highlights we watched, we went through and we saw Lucas Patrick help out and knock a dude on his butt when he wasn't engaged and somebody else was engaged with somebody. He went over there and just knocked the dude out. He like attacked that guy. He didn't just stand there and put his arm out like Jenkins just did. But Jenkins could have helped and prevented that sack.
Now, this play is interesting because this is the one where they're like, okay, we can't block him, so we're going to roll the pocket out. Lukey Patrick and Wagner do a good job of taking out 58. And Dominican Sue comes in and hits Lukey Patrick with a cheap shot because he's sick of getting his butt kicked by him.
Yeah.
Watch him right here. He knows he can't get to Rogers, so he's like, I'll just get a cheap shot right to Lukey's face. He hits him right in the face.
He's such
Look at that. Look at that crap.
Lucas
It's too late. Rogers makes a great throw on the run.
Crazy play by Rogers.
Freaking Lazard catching the ball on the sidelines. Great play. Awesome play.
After he no doubtedly got held earlier on that pattern.
Yeah.
Considering they held every single play. Tampa Bay did. Their defensive backs. Yeah. Good stuff.
Right. And some of you can just keep talking. But I mean, some of these are like, there's no, like, it doesn't show we're not looking at the offensive line. Like that play is.
That's a good double team block. But they had a good.
But it's thrown in 2
Wagner
seconds. They didn't have to block anybody on that. I mean, Rogers just took it and freaking threw it over to Devontae in like a second. So, I mean, we're watching these to look at the offensive line. So I did not slow this one down. I just let it go full speed again because I was like, and I know I get.
Man, they did your favorite thing. Double team blocks there.
I know. And they didn't run it though.
No.
When they run, they don't do the double team blocks. Trust me, there's a play later on I want to show that just drives me out. Aaron Jones would have had a touchdown. If actually it was not even double team, it's just getting to the second level and blocking a guy. Jenkins decided just to not block anybody, and of course, instead of a touchdown, Aaron Jones got like a 9-yard run for a first down, but it should have been a touchdown. Ooh, I think this is where Lukey Patrick gets his butt kicked, but it don't matter.
No, he stayed.
Did he? I don't remember.
He stayed with his guy again. That's the thing. Rick, tell me about that offensive lineman, right? What isn't guys? This is
the whistle.
You watch a lot of NFL too, right? And you watch the line a lot. There are very few guys that actually sustain blocks, even in the NFL. It's so weird to me. But this guy, he just stays with guys. I don't look at Billy Turner. What is he doing?
That's the thing that I find curious is, the people that bag on him, or if he had, a bad game or some standout plays where, he got blown up. Yeah, but what are these people watching? Right? I mean, it's not just the Packers line. Like you say, there's a lot of guys that certainly don't block to the whistle, or take their one shot at the guy and miss, and it's just stand around and look around, or
he's always getting him off the ground at the end of the play. Watch him. God, he's so good. This makes me love him even more. God, I love Lucas Patrick. He's so good.
But, if people are watching the game close enough to complain about what he's not doing, why are they not watching who's ever playing tackle next to him? Rick Wagner having his resurgence last year. I don't think I would call it a resurgence, although I would say he was probably better than Billy Turner. But
I want to point something out on this play because Lukey Patrick gets his butt kicked by Vita Vea. But I want you to show up. This is another same thing. Look where he is. Look where Vita Vea is. Look where the run is supposed to go. They're expecting Lukey Patrick to somehow get on a Pro Bowl, top-notch, run-stopping defensive tackle in the NFL. When he's on the outside shoulder, when the run's going this way, you would think this would be a good time for a double team and move on.
Double team and peel off. Yeah.
Right. Watch Corey Linsley. And then Lukey Patrick somehow has to jump over here, get in front of Vita Vea, one of the best run-stopping defensive linemen in the league. It's dumb. I'm sorry. That's not Lucas Patrick's fault that he gave up that play. His guy made the tackle, but it's not his fault. It's dumb. Watch Corey Linsley. He just ignores him. He doesn't even try to help. Look at him. At least give him a chip or something. And
he gets beat, but he's still engaged with him.
Right, and he's still pushing and he's still trying.
That helps.
But it's one of those things. I hate the stupid zone runs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it.
I mean, it's fine, but if a guy is lined up in your gap, the center should be like, okay, we're going to change this a little bit. I'm going to help out and then move to the next level. So this is the huge MVS play where Rodgers threw off his back foot. MVS had to wait for it, make a great catch with a guy hanging all over him and score a touchdown.
Ooh.
MVS had an awesome game. But anyways,
He was great.
so this, it doesn't really matter what these guys do because he just throws the ball right away. He doesn't care. I don't even think Lukey Patrick blocks anybody. Yeah, he doesn't. But he's looking for a blitz or somebody coming.
He's waiting for Sue. He wants to get Sue again. Go get him. Oh, the ball's already gone. Darn it.
Yeah. But anyways, so that was the second drive, and they scored a touchdown on it. Okay. And we looked at a couple different plays, and we saw, okay, he gave up the run for Aaron Jones, got tackled. But I just showed you why. You can't I think it's well known Vita Vea is top 1 or 2 defensive tackles in the NFL for run stopping, messing up freaking runs, right? Pretty sure everybody knows that. I don't think it's a surprise. Matter of fact, I remember in the first game against Tampa Bay last year where the Packers offensive, or when LaFleur said after the game, well, why'd you guys run to the outside so much? He was like, oh, because they got a really good defensive line. And they're like, okay, but Vita Vea was hurt. What were you doing? And he's like, well, they still got a good defensive line. So you know they got a good defensive line even without that guy. And now he's back in the playoffs and you don't double team him? It just doesn't make sense. So I don't blame Lukey Patrick on that. I don't know.
Rick, what do you think? After seeing some of this stuff, I don't know how much you watched about him, but what do you think? Does he look like a pretty damn good starting guard to you or what?
I'm standing by what I said earlier, where he's absolutely one of the top 5 guys on their offensive line right now, and he should be starting.
Because that's the thing some of these people are bringing up with all the guys they brought in. They're like, well, I mean, I think he should still be on the team. He needs to be starting. Are you kidding me? Not just on the team. Like, of course he should be on the team because he's like super versatile, can play either guard spot or be your backup center. So yes, of course he should be on the team, but he should be starting, and he should definitely be starting over Billy Turner. He should be starting well before Billy Turner gets to ever see the field and get any grass on his shoes. Come on.
Oh,
come on, Billy Turner, dude. I mean, maybe that's the thing that gets me is one, you downplay and you talk about him like he's this afterthought. So many people do. They do the same things that Ty Summers been. All these media guys go in and they ask about, what do you think about Martin and Barnes and blah, blah, blah. They don't even say Ty Summers' name. Like, the guy should not be an afterthought. He is a guy who should be considered for a chance to play.
I hear you. Keep talking. I just played. This is a really long video. This drive takes 25,000 years. So just talk over top of it. I'm just playing video while we're watching.
So a lot of the discussion, like, these pundits talking about the line situation, again, it sounds like they're debating who they should be keeping as the backups, when I think the bigger question is who should be starting, right? I mean, not who's going to be making the cut.
Look at him. He tackles the guy there. He's trying. He's going, like, he didn't do a good job on that play, but still, instead of just letting the guy go, he tried to tackle him before he could get to Aaron Rodgers. Come on. I want that guy on my team.
Well, that was where he and Wagner just didn't know, like, neither of them decided, like, they both were like, oh, and then they did, neither of them blocked them. That was a misassignment, obviously, because there was 2 guys coming. The safety was blitzing.
I didn't mean, sorry to jump on you.
You interrupted there, Rick. That was mean.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should mute myself. 30 seconds.
No, it's fine. I guess, you're talking about these, young guys, these draft picks, these, free agents they're bringing in. Like, these are guys that, who are they going to keep? Who are going to be the backups? But when you don't have your starters decided, why are you debating, who's going to maybe make the team or not? Like, really, you're going to consider these guys to be real starters over the guy who actually started for you last season?
Ben, that last play, I'm sorry, Rick. The last play, Elton Jenkins, who's, Pro Bowler to be and all this stuff, he got beat pretty bad on that one, trying to go one-on-one.
Yeah, and that was Vita Vea, the defensive run stopper, who lined up on the inside and beat him to the outside. Look at that.
I mean, everybody raves about Jenkins. Quick separation. And
Billy Turner. Oh, my God. Watch Billy Turner's technique on this.
Jenkins?
I don't want to keep watching this. Watch Billy Turner on this. Look how out of it. Look at him. He's
Look at his
reaching
feet.
and grabbing. Oh my God! How is this guy even on a team? How do they pay him $8 million? Oh my God!
Not only that, they keep putting him in the starting lineup somewhere, wherever there's a spot. They're like, Billy Turner, boop, put him in there. No, why? Rick, when Billy Turner's feet as a tackle are 1 foot apart, is that at any point a good idea for an offensive tackle?
No. Well, even when he was shifting out, it's like the foot he's extending. He's got his right leg extended to the inside of the guy. Like the guy's gonna be trying to push him back upfield. His footwork's not great. I guess his hands are pretty good at playing tag, but I don't know. It's a mystery. There's nothing really new we can add to this. I don't know why he keeps getting the call to start. I don't know why he's, other than Bakhtiari, the guy that's guaranteed to be out there.
I mean,
there must be something going on in practice that we don't know about.
It really is. It's really hard to comprehend. But the thing I'm saying, I'm not trying to put down Jenkins. So everybody gets beat. Everybody has bad plays. But what I'm saying is people rave about Elton Jenkins. He's so great. He's a stud. He's this and that. And I'm sorry. He's not any better than Lucas Patrick. Patrick is just as good as him. I will say that with confidence after watching offensive line play by this Packers team. And you think one guy is a superstar and the other guy you're ready to get out of the door. I don't get it.
So I know tonight is the Lukey Patrick fan club special edition, but I think it's important to keep in mind that Jenkins is still one of the guys that should be out there, right? I mean, I know what's bothering you is the disparity or in the perception of, Jenkins is awesome and Patrick, he sucks. Why is he even on the team? And that's not a fair comparison. But hey, if people want to rave about him, great. As long as he's out there and he's playing and blocking most of the time, I'd rather have him out there than a number of other guys that they've tried to put out there in the last few seasons. Right? Would you rather have Rick Wagner back? No way.
No.
Would you like to see Billy Turner coming off the bench if someone gets hurt? I'd rather have that than Jenkins coming off the bench. Right?
Right. I
Well,
mean,
Jenkins has got to start. He's one of the top 5.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I just don't want it to seem like you're tearing Jenkins down or saying he sucks when I don't think that's what you're trying to say, but that's the way it's kind of coming across.
Oh, I apologize. No, I'm not trying to tear down Jenkins. I'm trying to point out the fact that all people miss blocks, all people have plays that aren't great for them. And so when you want to point to Lucas Patrick's plays and say that means he's not good, but then you're talking about guys who you say are good, the same thing happens with them in their play. And what I'm saying is most of the time, Lucas Patrick is doing a good job. An overwhelming majority of the time, he does his job well, and he's always giving you maximum effort. So give me that guy as an offensive lineman. That's exactly what I want. And that's why he's my favorite player, not for any other reason. He's earned my fandom. I said that before. He's earned it with his play.
Okay. So here's a question. So with the caveat that saying these guys are competing for starting jobs really doesn't mean anything at this point, at what point is it time to have a new offensive line coach come in? Right? I mean, you're seeing blocking that doesn't make sense. We've seen personnel decisions that don't really make sense. Is offensive line the next coaching position that needs to be changed?
But Rick, that's the coaching position that everybody says is the best on the Packers.
They love Butkus and Steno.
Steno. He's so great. That's all we ever hear about.
James Campen was awesome.
Based on what? Because they have awesome passing numbers every year? Because they still manage to put up good rushing numbers some years? How much of that is the offensive system and in spite of a questionable offensive line? I don't want to turn this back to Rodgers, aka Diva Baby, but how
Jonesy, don't fumble it. No,
that's a precursor to later.
How it's the same argument or same debate with the receivers. Well, we don't need receiver help. Look at what these receivers do. Well, would these receivers be as good if they were playing, if Bortles had been the quarterback for the last 3 years? I would think probably not. But
Rick,
it's a team game. It's not one person. It's not one position. But I think if you're looking at offensive production, offensive yards, offensive touchdowns, whatever, having a veteran quarterback who can avoid sacks, who takes care of the ball, is going to make that offensive line look better.
No, I don't know what Aaron Jones is looking at on this play.
now that play is kind of choppy, but did you see what Patrick did on that play? He was in a double team block with Wagner. Then they had the linebacker kind of slip forward. He got off the double team block, and he still tried to get a piece of that linebacker so he could give Jones an opportunity to cut back inside.
Right. And Jones thought that guy was coming. He didn't realize Lukey was going to get there. If he would have had a hole. He would have got a bunch of yards. Instead, he's trying to sneak out this way, and then, so I don't know. It was not a good play. Now, that was a double team block over here on this side.
Now,
but then it left all those guys one-on-one on this side.
A couple of plays ago, I got to say, I had that play called for me a couple of times in high school, the tight end screen that Mercedes had, and it was equally as effective. I think I got about 10 yards maybe when no one was around me, and as soon as somebody got by me, I got tackled, just like Sadie's. Tight end screen, effective play, though. They should use it more.
Watch Jenkins on this play when he gets to the second level here. Right here. He doesn't go here. He doesn't go here. He looks over here. I don't know what he's doing.
It's the zone scheme. I don't like
the zone. But take the guy who's right in front.
Yeah.
If you would have blocked that guy, Aaron Jones would have been in the end zone.
And Patrick got shoved off.
You got a guy who's already... Go ahead, Jess.
Well, Patrick got shoved off right away on that play. But again, he went back after the guy. He didn't give up. So many guys, once they're beat, they just turn around and I'm beat. It plays over. Play's not over for him.
All right. Now we just watched Aaron Jones run the ball 3 out of the last 4 plays. And he gets him a first down at the 6-yard line or 5-yard line or whatever it is. Run, run, run. One pass in there. And it was a screen pass to the tight end. Okay. The next 3 plays are pass, pass, pass.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, get out of here.
And they have to kick a field goal. And this is why this guy needs to be traded now. And there should not be an extension for this guy.
Don't you think
whether Rodgers comes back or not?
Don't you think they should make that move, Ben, rather than just let him go to free agency? Try to get
they should trade him now. I mean, look at that.
He just had 18 touchdowns, right? He is self-proclaimed
he's forced the ball.
No, but I'm saying he had a huge season statistically. He's self-proclaimed top wide receiver in the league. A lot of people say he's top 3 receiver in the league, whatever. So you would think he's worth some value to somebody who wants to win this season, right?
And the reason why that ball was kind of thrown wonky by Rodgers is because this guy's coming free. Rodgers kind of had to do a weird loop-de-loop over the top.
Jenkins getting help again from and Billy Turner? What are they doing? What is Billy Turner doing? Rick, can you explain it? What is
right through his hands? This guy says he's the best receiver in the league. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me.
Why didn't Jenkins block the outside backer on that play? Or, I mean, not Jenkins. I'm sorry, Turner. Why didn't Turner block the outside backer on the play? I don't understand. Billy Turner, the worst.
And that's one where they tried to move the pocket, and nobody blocks anybody. All the offensive linemen just start running, but they don't block anybody. So these guys are able to get their hands up and knock the ball down. Maybe Lukey Patrick gets engaged. He starts to, but even he doesn't.
Because
they're all just running.
Yeah, they all back off. Well, all those guys backed off behind the line of scrimmage because they knew it was a pass. And
well, they knew it's a pass, yes, but I mean,
clog it up.
I don't know.
It's a weird, dumb call, but
it was a weird call, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And this play, you got to watch. Rodgers just looks at Devontae the whole time. Watch Lazard up here on the top.
Is this Jamal Williams split out to the
Yes,
bottom?
it is, but don't worry about
Nice.
that. Look at Lazard.
Okay.
Look at Lazard. He slips,
He always
gets
slips.
held, gets off, touchdown.
Yeah,
It's
there
a
he is.
touchdown. It's a freaking touchdown, Rodgers. Stop looking at Devontae. He's double covered. Double covered. Look here. Get off your first read, Rodgers. Nope. Instead, look at this. Good
Yeah,
God. Look at
Lucas has got his guy locked up.
Lucas is playing great. And I'll say this much. Jordy Nelson would have done the toes reach back catch. Devontae does the jump in the air and catch. And his momentum takes him out of bounds.
No.
Therefore, incomplete pass, kick a field goal. That's your number one receiver in the NFL.
Bum.
And I know
Bummer.
Packer fans are probably pissed at me because I'm ripping on Rodgers and I'm ripping on Devontae.
Devontae
You know what?
makes.
That play was Rodgers' fault. He should have got off the freaking looking at Devontae all the goddamn time. And it's Devontae's fault because he didn't drag his feet. He jumped like a ding dong.
Oh, it picks up the stunt there. Get out of here, JPP. Oh, yeah. Take that, JPP. 62.
Yeah, why did he even jump there?
I'm just marveling at Patrick picking up the stunt, sticking with the
You're not
fast,
gonna- you're
speedy
just not gonna-
JPP.
You're just not going to let me do it, are you? You're not going to let me have it, are you?
Not gonna let you have it because Lucas Patrick's the man. All you're showing me is Lucas Patrick is the man. That's what you keep showing me.
Yeah, well, I'm going to show you something Lucas Patrick said. It's getting late and I got to work at 5 in the morning.
Look, I mean, you guys look for certain things obviously differently than maybe what we're looking at. So I'm curious what those are and how he's doing with that.
I think the number one thing you have to have as an NFL player is confidence in yourself. If you don't feel confident in yourself, other people feel it. And I've had players on this team come up and tell me to believe in myself and trust myself, and that went a long way. And I'm just trying to help other guys do that, or tell them that, like, hey, just come in here, be you. Like, you is good enough. And that's all we want to see, because it's not just one guy versus 11. It's not just one position. It's all 11 of us, and if all 11 of us are confident, believe in each other, and vice versa and all that, then we'll be a pretty good team and hard to stop.
How is he doing with that then in that regard?
I mean, I got to say, I think he's made a jump.
Let's talk about Jordan Love.
From last year working just in CQX with him and hearing him this year with his cadences, they're more, on cue, and his command for the offense is, you can tell it's grown, and, credit to him. You can tell he worked hard in the offseason, just like many other players on this team who needed to take a jump. And like I did young in my career, it's, you make the big jumps in the offseason when you're committed to a daily schedule and working hard.
Working hard. He
Did
also.
you hear that? Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said? Did you hear all that?
Yep.
What did he say? It's not just one guy against 11. He worked hard in the offseason.
You know what else?
I think that's secret code for we don't need Rodgers.
Well,
It takes 11 guys, not one guy. Maybe he's sick like me of being told,
no, he's not.
no, Rodgers, this team sucks. He's been carrying him on his back for years and years and years.
Come on. Rodgers picked him up when he was down, and that meant a lot to him. He would never be saying that crap about Rodgers. But
Okay.
he also, in that interview, talked about Aaron Jones and how special he was and how awesome he has been. So you got to like that too, right?
Yeah.
Said number 33, he's dynamic. He can do.
Don't change the subject.
I'm just saying, Lucas Patrick is the man, and he should be your favorite Packer as well. Everybody, tell me, should he not be your favorite Packer offensive lineman?
Yes. Why don't you listen to this, Jace?
Okay.
You need to start waking up. Your guy, Lukey Patrick, knows what's up. Listen to this question and this answer.
I'm wondering, I know it's only been a few OTAs and you aren't doing full team stuff like that, but I guess, does it feel different that Aaron's not there? And I guess how challenging is it knowing that you guys want him back, obviously, but, it not necessarily is that simple with the way the NFL works sometimes.
I mean, yeah, it's been great having the guys here and the guys who are working. I think reps are valuable. It's good to be working with certain guys in different mixes, because as we know, throughout the season, as we saw in our offensive line last year, it can be a different combination week to week or series to series. So I just think it's good for everybody to get together, work, hear the verbiage, start working our little kinks out that we have.
We'll do two more, Jason.
What? What was that answer? No, Jason, be quiet. Eric,
Zach.
shut up, Eric.
I'm just saying
What
hi
was
to
that
Zach.
answer? What was the question and what was the answer? What do you think of that there, Rick? Be honest. Jason, keep muted. Rick, what do you think about that?
What's it like without Aaron there? Well, I think we're trying to make the most of dealing with a situation where we don't know if he's coming back or not. And if he's not, we need to get a young guy ready to play right now. So let's get him some snaps and try to work out kinks so that it's not a complete shit show in week one.
That's the answer to the question that was asked. But what did Lukey Patrick say?
Pretty much that.
No, he didn't. Oh my God. Do I have to play it again for you guys? You guys are driving me nuts. I'm going to have to play it again.
He dodged saying anything. He dodged saying anything about Rodgers. You don't have to play
absolutely nothing. He
I know
treated
you
as
don't.
If the guy didn't exist.
You don't have to play it again.
Listen again, Rick.
But I guess, does it feel different?
He doesn't even mention his name. He talks about the guys that showed up.
You guys want him back, obviously.
That's what he talked about.
It not necessarily is that simple with the way.
Maybe it was Aaron Rodgers that gave this a thumbs down after that answer.
Yeah, it's been great
him right here.
having the guys here and the guys who are working. I think reps are valuable. It's good to
reps are valuable.
Certain guys in different mixes because as we know, throughout the season, as we saw in our offensive line last year, it can be a different combination week to week or series to series. So I just think it's good for everybody to get together, work, hear the verbiage, start working our little kinks out that we have.
All I know is I hear this. I hear this. Now, maybe I want to hear it, but I got direct quotes. Direct quotes from Lukey Patrick. He says, it's great that the guys are here. I think reps are valuable. I think we need to work as a team. He says, nothing's guaranteed. He says, it's not just one guy versus 11. Your guy, Jace, Lukey Patrick, when posed the question of what you feel about Aaron Rodgers not being there, won't even mention his name or even his position or his backup or anything. Says nothing about that. Almost answers a totally different question. Like, hey, what's it like at OTAs? Oh, it's really great because we work together and we need to be working on stuff. That's not the question. The question was, what's it like at OTAs without Aaron Rodgers? And Lukey Patrick, your guy, who I love too. Yeah, I love him even more now. He knows what's up. He knows that he had to scrape and claw and work his way to the top. And he's not even at the top. He's barely even hanging on. And he's got to work. And he's
trying to get him out the door all the time. That's
right. And now, Mr. Diva Baby, who got a draft pick and oh my God, had a damn heart attack. And he's not. I'm butthurt. I'm not coming back because I'm Diva Baby. I'm telling you, I think a lot of these guys on this team are getting sick of it. I think they're like, you know what? It takes more than one guy. He said it. It's not just one guy versus 11. It's 11 against 11.
Maybe.
Lukey Patrick quote. He said it when asked about Rodgers. Doesn't bring it up.
Maybe that comment, it's not one guy versus 11, to shut up all the critics who were blaming Rodgers for the loss when the defense would give up 35 points in the playoffs. Maybe he's sticking up for him.
Rick, you know that's not it.
I'll tell you what it is. It's Brentwood, Tennessee, man. Scotty Wells was the man. They were done with him. He won a Super Bowl with the Packers, though. And then they were like, okay, see you later, Scotty Wells. And Lukey Patrick is the man. And after this year, they're probably going to say, see you later, Scotty. Or see you later, Lukey Patrick. We don't need no Brentwood, Tennessee for another 10 years.
Yeah, and he knows it.
I'm going to be pissed when they do it.
So can you finally see the light? Lukey Patrick sees it? Come on, Rick. You know he sees it.
What light?
Lick's just trying to be a jerk. You know what he just did there.
What
I think
what
he was
light?
intentionally avoiding talking about it
Yeah.
because
Right,
it's
because he doesn't
probably
want to. Right.
it's what everybody is talking about.
Right.
So he's probably trying to make the point that look, this team is more than the quarterback drama that's going on. We're going to play no matter who is our quarterback. That's what I'm
Right.
hearing.
And that's the other problem with these poor guys. They all have to deal with this crap. But Rodgers won't talk. But these other guys got to deal with it all the time. LaFleur, all the players, Lukey Patrick. He's got to try to make the damn team again. He's got to prove himself after he played great last year. He's got to try to prove himself because they drafted 6 guys over the last 2 years to replace him. He ain't worried about Rodgers' dumb butt. He's worried about himself. And that's why he's awesome. And Jason tries to blame Goody for the fact that Lukey Patrick might be gone.
I knew because he's not.
You know who
he
I
was
think
there.
the real problem is?
He was there. He was there before Goody's was GM.
Yeah,
he was
but
he's not a Goody guy. So Goody's got to get his guy in there.
Who's the real guy that's the problem? If Goody needed to get his guy in there, Owen Burks would play.
No.
Josh Jackson would play. Those were high draft picks by Goody. They don't play. It's not Goody who decides who plays. It's obvious that's the case.
Ben.
Or else we would see some other guys playing who aren't.
Ben. Goody doesn't like to be proved wrong, so that's why Billy Turner gets. That's the only.
Jamon Moore.
The only explanation after all of the Billy Turner 2 years of Billy Turner playing football for the Packers and everything we've seen, the only explanation is that's Goody's guy. He signed. He went out and got him. That guy has to play no matter if he's the worst offensive lineman on the team. He's playing. Play him.
The reason why Lukey Patrick could be in jeopardy, there's one guy who's his fault. And his name is number 62's biggest fan outside of his family. That guy bought a Lukey Patrick jersey and he jinxed it. He jinxed it. It's all his fault. It's all your fault, Jace. You're the reason why Lukey Patrick's in trouble now. If you wouldn't have bought that jersey, Lukey Patrick would be fine. It's all your fault. Your
love I might agree with.
Caused Lukey Patrick to maybe possibly not be a Packer after this year. Maybe before that if the Packers are even more stupid. They are dumb, so I ain't going to put it past them. It's be your fault, Jace. You have to live with it. Not Goody's fault. Your fault.
It happened with the last pack. Okay, here's my history with jerseys. I got a Doug Evans jersey as a gift his last season in Green Bay. Actually, I think it was for Christmas. So I think it was at the tail end of his last season in Green Bay.
Yep.
Then I got a freaking Ray Allen jersey, my only Bucs jersey ever. And the next year they tried to trade him for old Gary Payton and a piece of garbage. They freaking shipped Ray Allen, who was like one of the only guys who said, I want to stay in Milwaukee and win in Milwaukee. Nobody in the history of the Bucs wanted to do that. Lou Alcindor, as soon as he could get the hell out of town, he was like, get me out of here. I don't want to be in Milwaukee. But Ray Allen was like, you know what? I want this team to go all the way. I want to see it through. I want to do it. George Karl was always on his butt all the time. And he's like, George, back off. Yeah, I'm not great at defense, but nobody can shoot like me. So shut up and let me play the game I can play, you dumbass. But George Karl was on his ass all the time. Sorry, but he was. And then what do? They sent him to Seattle for half a season of Gary Payton and a guy who couldn't shoot a lick of the basketball. But, man, he could dunk once in a while. Yeah. And that's what we gave up Ray Allen for. And that's because I got his jersey as a gift. And, Mom, don't feel bad. I know you got me the gift. It's an awesome jersey. Ray Allen was an awesome player. Doug Evans was an awesome player. Lucas Patrick is awesome and a very good player. Now, that's why I got to go to training camp this year before he's cut, get this thing signed, get it locked up, and get it encased and display it on my wall before he's no longer on the Packers. And the Packers get rid of him.
Then you got to stop buying jerseys. Rick, am I right?
Yes.
It's Jason's fault.
Although when the Packers cut him and the Raiders sign him, because they're going to need a lot of offensive line help, then maybe you can do Hafeman Brothers talking Raiders.
Listen, I might have to do Hafeman Brothers talking Raiders if Diva Baby comes back. I don't know if I can handle this.
That was the conundrum. Last week we talked to Nick after the show, And I was talking about going to training camp, and Nick was like, well, if Rodgers isn't on the team, I'm not going. And Ben was like, if Rodgers is on the team, I'm not going. So we got a
No,
conundrum.
if Rodgers is on the team,
That's
not
what I
going.
said. Isn't that what I just said?
No, you just said isn't that isn't.
Oh, well, the other night, Wednesday night, I was slurring my speech too, and I didn't even drink anything, but I was just really tired. Don't worry, guys. I'm doing fine
Oh,
for the most part.
I have to. Hey, I'm sorry I wasn't there Wednesday, but if anybody knows, I got my second COVID shot on Tuesday.
How are you feeling? Did you
I was
feel it?
fine. I was fine until about 10 o'clock the next morning.
And you felt it.
And then I was like, man, I need a break because I was at work. And I was like, I'm tired. I need to take a break. But I didn't. I kept working. And then I was like, man, I need to take a break. But then I didn't. I kept working. And then I came home and I was just like, I just want to lay down for a while. So I just sat down on the couch. And I was like, I had a fever and everything hurt. Like my knees hurt. My elbows hurt. I could still breathe fine. I didn't have any congestion problems or whatever.
Your body was working.
And I just laid there for like 8 hours. And then I went to bed at 8:30 and laid in bed. And I had a fever and I was achy and crappy. And then all of a sudden at like 1:30 in the morning, it was just like, hey, you're good. And I was like, what the heck? It was the weirdest thing. I went from feeling like complete garbage to just being fine. And then I was fine the next day and fine the next day. So I don't know. It's weird. It was the weirdest thing ever. So, hey, it's true. The COVID thing will mess you up if you get the whatever I got, the Pfizer or whatever it's called.
was fine.
Messenger RNA, man.
I will say this. I did not get, so the first time I got a big giant bruise on my arm for like a week and a half. And this time I don't have one. So that just means the first time the lady that shot me just was like, and just smacked the crap out of me. This time I
She's probably the nurse. The first time probably has seen the show.
Oh, I don't know. But the second time I didn't even know
Probably
she did
Rodgers
it.
fan.
All of a sudden she's like, oh, you're done. And I'm like, I didn't even know you got me there. You must have taken all my feeling away.
Balaz, good morning. Hey, sorry you missed us. We talked about Lucas Patrick tonight, man. And that's what the show is all about. And then people undervaluing him. And Ben showed some video about how he's actually better than I even thought. God dang, if the Packers get rid of him, I'm telling you, I'm going to hate the Packers. God,
More importantly, have you come around to my thinking on the Aaron Rodgers now?
I don't care about Aaron Rodgers.
Cutting Patrick has told you the truth.
Listen to me. Losing Lucas. I will be a Packers fan if they move on from Aaron Rodgers. If they move on from Lucas Patrick.
Well, they're going to after this year because his contract's up and they're not going to sign him back because they drafted 6 guys to replace him in the last 2 years.
They better let him be on the team and start this year.
Won't. They're
if
jerks.
they cut him this year, I'm taking a 1-year hiatus from Packers.
Just like they didn't respect Lane Taylor and
Packers.
Other guards. They'll just say, yeah, see ya.
I guess they just want guys. Thank you, Blas. Yep, we're over 100 now. 106. I guess they just want offensive linemen that don't block very long. And if that's what you want, then I guess Lucas Patrick isn't your guy. If you want a guy who sustains his block and tries hard, I guess he's not your guy. Freaking Packers. Lucas Patrick is the man. He's awesome. Brentwood, Tennessee. Tries hard. Is a great dude. Loves his teammates. Loves his coaches. Somehow he even loves the front office. We don't know why. All right, Rick, thanks for being a guest tonight. You're awesome. Ben, glad you got your messenger RNA all worked out, and now you're boosted up. COVID can't touch you now, buddy. You're good to go.
Am I good? Like now, right now, I can do it.
Oh, no, you got 2 weeks. 2 weeks
well,
out.
I went through it. I told you.
I know, but you're fully boosted. You're fully boosted.
1:30 in the morning, I was like, good. Isn't that it?
Hey,
you gotta wait 2 weeks, even though I was like,
takes a little while to boost your spike proteins.
I'll let the molecular geneticists.
Oh, they
explain.
spiked it. That's what you said. Oh,
yeah.
They used to do that in college.
Yep.
They'd spike a lot of stuff.
It's like just think of it as think of it as vaccine Wapatuli, and that's basically it.
That was some nasty crap Eckers would come up with.
I just can't believe they made it in these old nasty freaking totes, like giant totes, and they mixed up a bunch of WAP.
Yeah, but we put a garbage bag over it first and then made it in the garbage.
Sometimes I think that was just, I don't know where the tote came from, but people are like dunking their cups in there and drinking it. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Give me something out of a sealed container because I am not drinking out of that. That's messed up.
Rick, I'm sorry we interrupted you a bunch today.
That's okay. I was expecting some longer rants, so
I think we did okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Before we go, Rick.
I showed a lot of video. Maybe that's the problem.
Before we go,
you got it
Rick,
out of your system earlier today. It's okay.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Packers offensive lineman?
Well, after the highlights we saw today, I certainly respect someone who's going to block to the whistle. So it just might be your man Luke Patrick.
Ben, who should people like? Who should people's favorite offensive lineman be for the Packers?
Lucas Patrick. He's the most consistent guy they got.
I rest my case.
If we ever get to see Josh Nijman play, then
Yeah, maybe he's good. I don't even know. I've never seen the guy play.
And after we watched all the videos Ben showed, should we be as bummed that we lost Corey Linsley in free agency?
No. Maybe he's not. I mean, he wasn't bad. He was a good player. I'm not saying that. But
Not
even
worth it.
he had a couple hiccups here and there. I mean, come on. I'll say this. One
he's
more thing.
never-
Quick little side note.
All right.
All the guys that were at the latest OTAs, especially Andy Herman, your guy who you had a little fight with today.
It was not a fight. Come on.
They said Ty Summers.
Oh, I told you. I said about talking about it on Wednesday.
Is probably starting at inside linebacker along with.
They
our
said
guy
he's like the
Barnes.
second guy in. It's like Barnes is the first guy, and he's like that when they bring in the second linebacker, Ty Summers, right now. But at least they're looking at him. At least he's getting opportunities. I said this. If it's an open competition, because that's what people said, inside linebacker right now is as open a competition as it could be based on the reps and OTAs. If it's an open competition, I believe Ty Summers will come out on top, will emerge as the man at inside linebacker. What do you
Ty
think?
Summers, he will be the Robert Tonyan of this year. He'll be the guy that nobody sees coming and ends up being a playmaker. This time it'll be on defense. That the Packers haven't had at that position for years. Nobody saw Robert Tonyan getting 11 touchdowns and 52 catches last year. Nobody. We kind of did, but
Ben, then I gotta like the Packers again. God dang it, Packers! Can't you just pick away, be good, and make good decisions, or be stupid? So I can either like you or not like you. It's pissing me off.
Maybe you can get Summers to change to 62 next year.
I don't know. That's a D lineman number or O lineman number. You can switch to 92, but
You
then
can do whatever you want
isn't
now.
92 retired?
Should be.
Is Reggie's number? I think just nobody ever has it. I don't know if it's actually retired in the wall. Maybe it is. I don't know.
The thing is, there'll never be another number 62.
There'll be a bunch more. There'll be like 100 more, dude. What are you talking about?
The history of the number is pretty strong. Matt Brock.
I was just thinking, yeah.
Marco Rivera.
Yeah, Marco Rivera. That's right.
Lucas Patrick. Out of that trio, who do you remember the most?
Matt Brock.
Marco
he
Rivera.
had,
Come on, what the? We just went through this whole night. Dang it, Lucas Patrick is the man. If you haven't figured it out by now, watch some damn film, and you'll figure it out. Watch
How
him
many
kick
games
the
does
crap
Marco
out of.
Rivera play?
I don't know, but watch him kick the crap out of Akeem Hicks. Akeem Hicks, super monster beast of a man. Lucas Patrick kicked his butt against the Bears.
One more quick thing. I know we're trying to end, but
All right, so
earlier this week I watched on PFT with Florio and Sims.
oh god, those guys.
They drafted the top non-quarterback players in the NFC North. Okay. They did pick some Packers, but their first Packer picked was the 4th pick as Jair Alexander. Okay. Then they took
overhyped.
Bakhtiari at like 6 or 7, and Devontae Adams at like 7 or 8. And here's the part that's even more ridiculous. Well, kind of ridiculous. Justin Jefferson was the 3rd pick.
After one season?
Oh, wait, it gets better. Akeem Hicks was the 8th pick.
Lucas Patrick kicked his butt.
And the 7th pick, are you ready for this? Was the Detroit Lions' first-round draft pick at number 7 this year. A guy who hasn't even played in the NFL. They said is one of the top 8 players in the NFC North, not a quarterback. And guess who they didn't mention? One of the top 3 offensive weapons, touchdowns, yards per carry over the last 2 seasons. Don't even start with me. Aaron Jones wasn't even mentioned. Are you freaking joking me? Justin Jefferson after one freaking lucky year? Are you kidding me? Some rookie offensive lineman who hasn't even played a down in the NFL gets more respect than Aaron freaking Jones? That's ridiculous.
No respect, man.
That's ridiculous. Aaron Jones needs more respect. He's better than Bakhtiari. He's better than freaking Devontae Adams. And he's better than Jair Alexander. Jair Alexander can't pick and intercept the ball. Sorry.
Nope.
If you compare interceptions to touchdowns, because that's, I mean, let's face it. You got to be a good corner. You got to pick the ball off, right? You got to be a good running back. You got to score touchdowns. Aaron Jones is really good at scoring touchdowns. Jair Alexander, not so great at getting picks. Unless it's Tom Brady just throwing wooden ducks up to him because he got scared because Savage ran in at him really fast and he's like, oh, here. Okay. That's it. I thought that was ridiculous. I watched that today and I almost fell over. I had to leave a comment, of course, after that. I was like, you guys are freaking ridiculous. This is just sad.
Florio's really kind of like
he's lost his mind. That guy's lost his mind.
He's really, I mean, all he's doing is like speculative reaching on all this, coming up all these crazy topics. And you're like, dude, what are you going off of here? And there's no legitimate reasoning. And Sims is like thrown off sometimes by what he says, but then he's like, well, yeah, maybe you got something there. I don't know.
That's because Florio uses his lawyer crap on Sims and he tricks him because Sims isn't that smart. So he does his cross-examination with them, and then Sims is like, oh yeah, you're right, that does make sense. But really it doesn't make any sense. But because he was a lawyer, he able to, he tricks him into agreeing with him. And next thing you know, you don't have Aaron Jones as one of the top players in the NFC North. That's not a quarterback. And you got some rookie for the Detroit Lions who hasn't even played a goddamn down. How does that happen?
I don't know. There's some weird, there's a lot of people that give reviews or evaluations or verbiage to players. And I will just point out, if you watch this whole video, there are some people that have called Corey Linsley's career a stellar career, but they refer to Lucas Patrick as fine or a nice depth piece. That's garbage, dude. I'm sorry. Sorry to say it, but it's garbage. You are becoming a mouthpiece to the Packers when you prop up Billy Turner, Kevin King, Kenny Clark, rave like Kenny Clark is one of the top defensive tackles in the league. He's not. He's a good player, but is he a top defensive player in the league? No. Z, come on.
Well, somebody left a comment about that. How could they leave Zadarius Smith off this list? I'm like, I can tell you how, because he's not that great. Well, though, Eric will like this. Their number 1 pick for top player,
Packer
not a quarterback.
Pieces. What?
Top player, not a quarterback in the NFC North. Khalil Mack.
Maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, not anymore. We showed that in our Packer Bears game. I showed clips of him just slacking it and whacking it.
That's why Billy Turner is still starting, because he can shut down a dominant pass rusher.
He did in that game. And then number 2 was Delvin Cook, which Delvin Cook's pretty good. But I mean, he gets double team blocks. He gets giant assholes all the time, and the whole offense runs through him. That's the thing that people need to understand. Aaron Jones gets his numbers when the offense doesn't. He's like the third guy. It's Rodgers who runs the show. Jones gets the table scraps, and he still kicks butt with table scraps.
The difference,
come on.
But the difference between Jones and Delvin Cook isn't that great. Even if you think Cook is better, the difference between the two is not much. So if you got Cook that high, Jones should be not too far behind him.
Cook is faster, maybe. He's a little faster.
Yeah, but still, I mean, come on. He's what have they look at their numbers, look what they've done, look at the production, and come on. I mean, numbers speak, right? What you do matters, and what you put on film matters, and what you mean to the team. And Jones had huge plays last year. We talked about it ad nauseum, but he made key runs, big runs that broke games open or sealed games for the Packers in 2020 over and over again. And you're completely undervaluing that. It's just stupid. Florio's crazy. I don't get it. Anyway, we can't get all mad about what other people say. I totally understand. But dang it, some like Nico said, who cares what other people say? I get it. But you know, a lot of people listen to them. A lot of people see their stuff a lot more than watch our stuff. And sometimes I think those people, I don't know if they're just like mouthpieces for the NFL or for the organization and trying to just like prop up what they got, you know, for the teams. But they're not as honest as us. I'll tell you that. Now, Milwaukee Bucks, Alice in Chains. I don't know if there's a reunion tour or something. But Bucks start against the super team Brooklyn Nets tomorrow.
Hang on, I can't get at the show.
Rick, you got any thoughts on that? We said we were going to go, but this is the old Goma goodbye. So let's continue on for a minute. Rick, Brooklyn super team Nets. Can the Bucks possibly overcome the super team? What do you think?
I hope so. I haven't watched much NBA, but James Harden's kind of tubby. So, yeah, go Bucks.
Harden says they're a special trio with him and Kyrie and
yeah,
Kevin
anyone
Durant.
with him is going to be a special trio.
And Blake Griffin, who was an all-star too, but now is just like relegated to trying to get rebounds and stuff. He doesn't even hardly get to shoot or dunk because those guys take all the shots.
Sorry, I haven't been watching the NBA much.
You should watch this series, dude. See if the Bucks can pull it off.
I did check out Wikipedia, and Marco Rivera has started 10 times as many games as Lucas Patrick. So,
but not played nearly as well. I will guarantee you
that may be the case, but yes, he has been more memorable just by sheer volume of playing opportunities.
Well,
fans deserve the truth and an honest opinion.
My honest opinion is Lucas Patrick is the man, and he deserves to start and be a Packer for as long as he wants, but that's not going to happen. But he better be at least one more year. Stinking Packers. Anyway, go Bucks. Beat this stupid Brooklyn Nets team because they're a bunch of whiners and babies. I like it. Here's one thing.
Wait a minute. How do you hate those guys, but you love Diva Baby?
Stop it. I want to talk about this really quick. Because I don't understand. Tell me. Okay. Guys like Stephen A. and some of these dumb people that, well, I'm sorry. I don't mean to call Stephen A. dumb, but some of these people that talk about the NBA, they're like, this is where Giannis has to be a superstar. What did the Bucks do to dispel the heat? Was Giannis a superstar in that series? No, they played as a team. They used everybody. They shared
Who
the
the heck
ball.
is 21?
They shared the ball. 21? That's Drew Holiday, right? No. Is it Drew Holiday?
F. Starts with an F. Is he 21?
Oh, Bryn Forbes is number 7.
7?
Yeah.
That guy was draining threes left and right.
Yeah,
in game
Bryn
2.
Forbes. Pat Connaughton, Bryn Forbes, Portis. Get them all involved. Now they lost Steven Chenzo, which sucks, but they still got Drew and they got, Middleton was awesome. Giannis, they got to keep playing as a team. This is not the time for Giannis to be like superstar Giannis. No. Play as a team and you can beat the superstar team because they're not really a team. So if the Bucks play as a team, they're gonna do it. If they don't play as a team, then they could lose.
Well,
basketball is better when you play as a team, man.
Mom says she's got us on the big TV. Why would you do that?
I told her. I showed him how to do it.
Put us on the smallest screen you could ever find. You don't want to have us on a big screen.
She wants to see how old we're getting when she hasn't seen us in person. She wants to see how
Rick,
old
are you getting attacked over there?
My dog trying to Zoom bomb me like usual.
Got a growly stomach. All right, Rick. Hey, promise you watch some Bucks soon.
I'll check them out.
All right.
It's going to be too hot to do anything this weekend, so.
Yeah, I know. I got to cut my weeds, but I'm not going outside to do that. It's too hot.
Yeah.
Apparently our thermometer hit triple digits this afternoon.
What the? That's crazy.
Wow. Hey, My son graduates tomorrow.
Hey,
Congrats to Grant.
that's awesome.
I didn't know what I was going to wear, so I decided I'm going to wear my Job of the Hut shirt.
Oh man. Hey, congrats, Grant. That's awesome.
Well, he's out partying right now.
Party.
Yeah, he spent the last 3 days camping with his friends. Now he's partying with his friends.
Wow.
It's the senior party. It's okay. It's not like it's sanctioned by the school or some
Okay,
crap.
Okay.
Or like parents put it. I don't know what it is, but I don't know.
Anyway, it's a
Either
pretty
way,
awesome thing.
Yep,
Yeah.
he's old. Now I got to kick him out of the house starting Sunday. His last day tomorrow.
That's crazy. Congrats to him. Rick, thanks for hanging with us, man.
Oh, Rick,
As
he's
always.
moving in with you, by the way, just so you know.
He's got to put up with my mean dog.
He likes dogs. He volunteered at the pet clinic thing all this last couple of years.
Nice.
That was his thing. He's got some write-up in the paper.
All right.
I didn't even know they still had a paper, but I guess they still have paper in Rochester.
Yeah, dude. Papers are still viable. So
I think
is
it's
radio.
online only.
No, papers are still viable, and so is radio. I'll be on radio tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock. There's
This
my
show is never going to end because I'm just gonna keep
shameless
talking.
plug. Shameless plug. 11 o'clock this week. We got some guests. We're going to talk about some good stuff. We got Pride Month, and we got some other stuff to talk about. And I get to talk to cafe owners as well. So that's on tomorrow's show, 11 o'clock. DevilRadio927.com. And next week, we're going to talk to Pio and Delta.
Woohoo.
Beer Lab. All right.
I have to try to catch that one live.
You should try. Anyway, hey, if you haven't downloaded it yet, the greatest app ever, the Devil Radio app. You can download it and you can get it anytime you want. So there you go. Peace out, everybody. Have a great weekend.